Hold on to your seats, fakes, because the political world has just been rocked by a scandal so explosive it's practically torn the Labour Party to shreds. Chancellor Rachel Reeves, once hailed as a financial mastermind, has been sensationally booted from office in a jaw-dropping revolt that no one saw coming this fast. It's a backbench uprising of epic proportions, a rebellion so fierce it's left her career in ruins and the Labour leadership scrambling to pick up the pieces. Political commentator Patrick Christys had dared to ask, how long would it take for Labour's left-wing firebrands to unleash a full-scale mutiny if Reeves dared to slash benefits by billions? Well, buckle up, because the answer has arrived, and it's a wildfire of fury that's consumed Reeves in record time. Before we dive into this political bloodbath, I've got a quick plea for you, the viewer. If this kind of hard-hitting drama gets your pulse racing, smash that subscribe button right now. Don't miss a single second of the chaos. We're breaking it all down, and we need your voice in the comments below. Tell us, was Reeves a sacrificial lamb, or did she deserve this brutal ousting? Hit subscribe and join the conversation. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this seismic showdown. Patrick Christys, that sharp-eyed oracle of political upheaval, had mused aloud. How many days would pass before Labour's backbench warriors, those restless, radical souls, rose up in a tidal wave of defiance against Reeves' ruthless plan to gut benefits? He barely had time to finish the question before the answer roared into existence. Reeves' ejection wasn't just a quiet exit. It was a thunderous explosion of opposition, a backbench blitzkrieg that's left her political dreams in tatters. Christys himself couldn't have predicted the speed of this catastrophe. Her demise came faster than a lightning bolt, striking her down amid a storm of outrage that's still reverberating through Westminster. Picture this: Reeves, perched in her Chancellor's office, plotting her next move like some cold-hearted chess master, ready to slash billions from the welfare system, benefits that millions depend on to survive. She thought she could pull it off, didn't she? She thought she could defy the very soul of Labour's values and get away with it. But oh, how wrong she was. The Prime Minister, yes, Keir Starmer himself, had once stood tall and proud, declaring to the nation that benefits must rise with inflation. It was a promise, a sacred pact with the public. Yet here comes Reeves, tossing that promise into the shredder, igniting a fury so intense it's practically melted the walls of Parliament. The backbenchers didn't just grumble, they erupted, dragging her out of office in a scene straight out of a blockbuster thriller. Let's rewind the tape for a moment. On that fateful day, whispers were swirling. Chancellor Reeves was gearing up to announce cuts so deep they'd leave the poorest in society gasping for air. It was the tipping point, the spark that lit the fuse of rebellion. Labour MPs, those guardians of the party's beating heart, saw it as a betrayal so vile it demanded action. Christys had hinted this might happen. He even admitted he saw the cuts as a bold, maybe even brilliant move. But he knew the truth: Labour's MPs wouldn't stomach it. And boy, did they prove him right. The dissent wasn't just loud, it was deafening, a catastrophic uprising that's left Reeves' career a smoldering wreck. This wasn't her first brush with rebellion. Mind you, Labour MPs had already flexed their muscles over the two-child benefit cap, a policy so divisive it cost Starmer 7 MPs, including the fiery Tara Swana. But that was child's play compared to this. The revolt against Reeves was a juggernaut, a tidal wave of rage that swept her out of the Chancellor's post in a spectacle so dramatic it'll be etched in history books forever. Starmer had dared to hope his MPs would fall in line and back these savage cuts. Oh, how that dream backfired. The backbenchers didn't just refuse. They turned on Reeves with the ferocity of a pack of wolves, ejecting her in a power play that stunned the nation. But wait, there's more. That same day, 40 Labour MPs had already locked horns with Starmer and Reeves over the so-called farmers' death tax, a policy so outrageous it had rural Britain up in arms. That defiance was just the warm-up act for the main event, Reeves' political scalp, claimed by a backbench uprising that's rewritten the rules of Labour's game. And it's not just the MPs, trade unions, those titans of working-class power, turned their backs on Starmer after he slashed the winter fuel payment for pensioners. They joined forces with the backbenchers, pinning Reeves as the villain behind these heartless policies. She became their ultimate target, and her ejection their ultimate revenge. Now, let's talk regret. Christie's pointed out that plenty of Labour MPs must be kicking themselves for ever supporting that winter fuel cut. That regret didn't stay quiet. It morphed into action, a retribution so fierce it's left Reeves out in the cold. And the drama doesn't stop there. Rumors are swirling that Starmer was plotting to axe Energy Secretary Ed Miliband next. With Reeves gone, the speculation's gone into overdrive. Miliband could be the next head on the chopping block. Her ousting has only fanned the flames, as backbenchers flex their newfound muscle, ready to purge anyone who dares cross them. But hold on, there's a bigger question here. Christie's wondered if Starmer might scale back his precious net zero dreams, those green policies Labour MPs once cheered for. Well, guess what? The rebellion that toppled Reeves is a glaring warning. Any shift could spark more ejections. Those MPs aren't messing around. They've already sealed Reeves' fate as a cautionary tale for Starmer's cabinet. And then there's foreign aid. Starmer had once railed against cuts to it, calling the 0.7% pledge a cornerstone of Britain's honor. Reeves backed his U-turn, and it was the final nail in her coffin. Backbenchers saw it as treachery, and they made her pay, big time. Every former Prime Minister alive had begged Starmer not to touch that aid budget. They warned him, pleaded with him. But he and Reeves charged ahead anyway. She took the fall, her ejection proving the backbenchers won't bow to Starmer's whims. Christie's nailed it. Labour MPs passionate about global justice turned their fury on Reeves, and she didn't stand a chance. Add to that the simmering anger over the government's refusal to probe grooming gangs. 4 MPs broke ranks over that alone, and you've got a recipe for the revolt that ended her reign. This wasn't a one-off tantrum, folks. Labour MPs had been simmering for months, staging mini-rebellions over every issue under the sun. Those sparks finally ignited into the inferno that torched Reeves' career. Christie's original question, how long until a full-scale mutiny, has its answer: May days. Her fate was sealed by the very uprising he foresaw, a clash so brutal it's exposed Labour's dirty secret. They talk left, but govern right. That contradiction was Reeves' undoing, and it's torn the party apart. The government claims it's fixing 14 years of Tory failure, but Reeves' ejection proves it's cracking under its own weight. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch had it right. The Tories talked right but ruled left. Now Labour's flipped the script, and it's cost Reeves everything. Reports say she was set to slash welfare, tweak planning laws, and ease regulations, proof of a right-wing lurch that her backbenchers couldn't stomach. She even hit businesses with heavy taxes, but it wasn't enough to save her from their wrath. Ed Miliband's a laughingstock, Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson's a union puppet, and Reeves' ousting has put them all on notice. The winter fuel cut, a relic of Gordon Brown's 1997 budget, lit the fuse of her demise. Pensioner poverty's plummeted since then, but Reeves ignored that, and her backbenchers made her pay. Ironically, the Tories under Rishi Sunak opposed that cut. Labour's rebels didn't just oppose it, they booted her out. Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall's next, plotting welfare cuts worth billions. Reeves backed her, and it was the final straw. Kendall's no lefty. She's long raged against freeloaders, but even she couldn't shield Reeves from the axe. This is Labour's civil war, and Reeves is its first casualty. Stay tuned. Folks, subscribe now, and let's unpack this madness together.